Step right up, dummies, and listen to the stupidest sports show on earth with Rodney Newpole and Tim Van Stratton. Yeah. Well, hello, dummies, and welcome to episode number 96 of the stupidest sports show on earth. My name, as you all know, is Tim, the perfect storm Van Stratton. Alongside me is Rodney Newpole. I liked your wave. It gets like that. Normally, it's very enthusiastic, but this one, it was kind of just like, all right, let's get to the show. Anyway.
Yeah, man, what's going on? It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, and NFL last night, man. We're gonna get to it, but boy, I was wrong. I was wrong.
I think a lot of people were wrong. If I had to get, I don't know what the split was between the betting handle between the Lions and the Ravens, but probably more people like you thinking that the Ravens were going to win at home. But don't look now. The Baltimore Ravens are 1-2, and we're going to get to that. We got a lot to get to here on this Tuesday night. We have Rodney's updated power rankings. We have NFL storylines. We have what very well may be the biggest sports week of the entire year.
Possible.
Have you seen the weekend?
Yeah, no, I know the college slate's good. It's Ryder Cup weekend. I mean, I don't want to break the, whatever they call, ruin the lead or whatever we call it there. I don't want to
bury the lead. Yeah,
bury the lead when you have the topic coming up later. But yes, there is a lot going on in the world of sports this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's get right to it. Thanks to everyone who's tuning in and watching the show with us tonight. Real quick, before we get to Monday Night Football, before we get to other things, you probably noticed I am in a different location. I'm continuing my remote work. I am doing live coverage here in Southern California of all of the big games that are happening. But I want to ask you this, Rodney, and this is kind of a humble brag potentially. Have you ever flown first class before?
No, I haven't. And I'm really curious about hearing about this and just how my friend Tim has gotten to the point where like he couldn't even go out for $7 meals months ago. Like he was like, no, man, I'm just going to cook my own. Now he's flying first class. So either A, he became rich, or B, he's very important. I'm curious.
Well, you'll be happy to know it's neither of those things. Okay, so this is what happened. So you know how when you have flights, you check in the night before on the app, kind of go through the whole song and dance. Well, every so often, you'll get a little notification that says, "Hey, would you like to upgrade?" And what I've learned is upgrading the night before. Usually it's like, hey, we don't have these seats filled. We're going to give you this at a crazy discount. So Sunday night, while the Giants are getting their butt kicked, I got treated myself to a $125 first class ticket, which covered my bag, which I didn't have to pay for, which ensured that I was fed on the plane, which ensured that I had unlimited beverages on the plane. Many beverages. I was the second person to exit the plane. My bag was the third bag in the carousel. So all in all, the value for a 4+ hour flight from Chicago to Orange County was too good to pass up. It was the second time I've ever done first class. And the first one was a similar circumstance where it was a last minute thing. There was upgrades available and it was like super cheap. So that's my observation.
What flight company was it?
It was American. It was American Airlines.
Okay.
Yeah. But so they see if you want to drink before the flight takes off.
Oh,
then during the flight, a very good idea. Then during the flight, obviously they're doing that. First class is the only people on the flight that get breakfast. You know, back in the day, you used to get fed on airplanes. No more.
Yeah.
Unless you're in first class. So you have the choice between delicious omelets, or you do a fruit and yogurt parfait with some fresh fruit. So you get that. You get a nice hot towel for your hands, for your head, whatever you want to use. You got your own outlets that's in your seat. You have a table that is connected on the side that is hidden. So if you want to have all this lap space, you can. Otherwise, you can just put it there. You can move the table around. You have tons of leg room. It's very nice. Very nice.
No,
I felt inexplicably wealthy.
I've never flown first class. Now, I have been on a flight that I was the front seat, the very first seat, you know, it had a little extended leg room, but that was basically just like everybody else. That was the normal people's flight. But no, that sounds interesting, and I may have to take a look. I don't know when my next flight will be. I've slowed down. You've sped up your travels. I've slowed down mine a little bit. So it's like life comes at you quick, I guess. But yeah, so well, congratulations on the first class flight. Are you going to do it on the way back?
Only if it is offered to me again.
Yeah.
I will not go out of my way to do it because that is ridiculous. But if they say, hey, there is an upgrade available, it's the same price, I will do it for that flight. And like for a 4+ hour flight, I think it's worth it. You know, it's not like I'm doing it for Chicago to Peoria. That seems unnecessary. Yeah, I'll sit in row 21 for that with the peasants. I'm okay. Okay there.
Right. Middle seat though?
For what? For
any flight.
Just so I'm used to the middle seat because when I fly with my wife, she didn't come with me on this trip, but when I fly with my wife, she likes the aisle because I don't know if you know this about women, and I apologize here. They like using the bathroom. They go to the bathroom a lot. So like she likes the easy access in the aisle. So then I end up being in the middle next to her. Preferably though, I'm a window guy. Preferably, which I think everyone is. Except
I'm an aisle guy. I'm an aisle guy. I want to be on the aisle, and if I have a kid or wife with me, they're okay going in the middle. I just got to get up for them to go out, right? I don't mind getting up, letting them go through the aisle. Anyways, I'm a little bit rounder than you, so maybe I need the aisle seat. I don't know. I mean, you're tall, so you've got the longer legs. You wouldn't mind having the room on the aisle, but I get it. Window guy. Okay. I got you. Yeah.
But like on the aisle, I will stick out my leg a little bit, but then I feel like it's rude if I'm just sticking my leg out in the middle of the aisle and like people are walking. But in first class, did not have to worry about that. And I was the first row, so I just had wall in front of me. So I was literally just putting my feet up against the wall. There was no chair in front. I got to elongate, enjoy myself.
Very nice. Very nice. Well, congratulations on that.
Thank you. I felt like Skeeter for a little bit.
Right. Right.
So Monday Night Football last night, the Detroit Lions versus the Baltimore Ravens. Rodney, you mentioned that you had the Baltimore Ravens comfortably winning. I wasn't comfortable enough to make a prediction on the game. If I had to have guessed, I would have probably leaned Ravens. But I got to say, the Lions reminded everyone like, hey, we lost our coordinators, but we're going to be all right. We're going to be just fine. And they spread the ball around. They had Gibbs, a couple touchdowns, Montgomery, a couple touchdowns. St. Brown scored multiple fourth down conversions in the red zone, like wherever. It was typical Lions that we've seen the last couple of years. And they overwhelmed what I thought was a pretty decent Baltimore defense. But I was very impressed with the Lions yesterday. They have the stones, as you can see on the headline there.
Yeah, maybe the demise of Detroit after losing the Wonder Boy and Aaron Glenn may have been too exaggerated. Yeah, they look good, and that was the type of situation where, like, you know, when you do bet on the other side and you watch the game, you're like, oh, they're getting this fourth down. I mean, they're getting like there was just no opportunity that you thought they were going to stop them. Now, Baltimore did go ahead there for a short period of time, but like 3 straight games, Derrick Henry has fumbled. And I know you mentioned it last night. Like, Derrick Henry, is he washed? Is he cooked? I don't know, but 3 straight games. And then my biggest takeaway from that is, like, I know he's frustrated and upset, but Derrick Henry, and I hope he's not listening, but he looks borderline babyish when he fumbles, right? Like, take some responsibility. Yeah. Be a little bit tougher, be a little bit mentally tougher. He was almost in tears last night. Like, come on, Derek.
Well,
come on.
So, come on, Derek. So this is the issue, though. It's the fumbles are happening at the worst possible moments in the game.
Yeah.
These aren't first quarter fumbles. These aren't fumbles where the Ravens are up by 2 scores. The one against Buffalo. And I didn't see the fumble that he had against Cleveland because he was just so not important to how that game went. But the one against Buffalo obviously happened late, and that really spurred the Bills' comeback. The one yesterday, it was right after a 3-and-out. You're down by 4. You force a big 3-and-out in the fourth quarter, and your first play Your first play is a fumble, and you just give it right back. The Lions were then able to get a field goal right there to make it a 7-point game, and then force 3 and out, score again, and that was it. So it's happening at these really inopportune moments that just take Baltimore out of a football game. So yeah, I get the frustration there, but it's crazy too, because he's never been a guy where I said, oh, he's had fumble issues. He doesn't have fumble issues, but this year, for whatever reason, he has fumble issues, and it's killing them.
Yeah, and I obviously Derrick Henry's got to be better than that, but I will give a lot of credit to Aiden Hutchinson on that play. Came basically behind the play, didn't give up on the play, and I mean, most dudes are going to drop the ball when Aiden Hutchinson punches your arm.
Yeah,
at full speed. I get it, but Derrick Henry, the guy that trains himself 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, you got to be able to hold on to that ball. And then late in the game or just throughout the game, like Lamar Jackson looking for space, it seemed like he took a lot of tackles for loss. Like he could really only find Mark Andrews, maybe a little Justice Hill late, but like Zay Flowers was kind of non-existent. DeAndre Hopkins was non-existent completely. So some issues there. I thought Lamar just was a little hesitant to take off on sometimes when he does take off.
Yeah, what stunned me here, and I think this is a big credit for Detroit's secondary here, is Lamar was holding the ball. He's clearly looking for Zay Flowers, who's only able to sync up with him twice. He was looking for DeAndre Hopkins. Hopkins only had 1 catch. Like, really, the only people was Bateman had a few targets, and then Mark Andrews, the tight end. So, but like Flowers was out of the game, Hopkins was out of the game, Tylan Wallace was out of the game. Devontae Walker had 1 catch. Otherwise, he was out of the game. And Lamar's clearly looking for those guys. He's not finding them, and he ended up taking 7 sacks. Yeah. Lamar Jackson, with his mobility, getting sacked 7 times is wild. So clearly, like, those receivers are not open. They were supposed to be. He's looking for them, and then he ends up having to take a sack. And I think Detroit's defense, despite giving up 30 points, I think you can look and say Detroit's defense played really well. It's as good of a defensive outing as you can have as a team that gave up 30. That makes sense.
Yeah, no, they did. They really got after him, and then on the other side, Baltimore's defense was not good at all, right? And like they could not get Detroit off the field, and I was a little curious how Jared Goff would look on the road on grass, in that situation. But Jared Goff looked really good. Now he's got dudes, he's got stones. They've got stones. Yeah. He said that, like Amon-Ra, really, really good. Jameson Williams is kind of the deep threat. Sam Laporta didn't really do much, but then you've got the running back situation that is absolutely insane. And that's what Ben Johnson's trying to do in Chicago. And he's a ways away from that. But like you can see the resemblance now building in Chicago that Detroit has going on there. I'm not saying Chicago is Detroit. By no means are they. But I can see the resemblance he's trying to build there.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. It's Detroit's offense wasn't just Goff and a great passing game. I mean, it's built because they have 2 great, very different running backs that they can just rotate throughout the game and depend on to get them yardage. And I mean, they ran the ball 34 times with Gibbs and Montgomery yesterday. Yeah, 34 times, which I was not expecting. I was not expecting that level of rushing for the Lions, even though we do know they like to run the ball, but you look elsewhere, like Goff only had 20 completions, just over 200 yards. I mean, it was a, hey, we're going to beat you on the ground. And I don't think Baltimore was expecting that to happen.
No, I don't think so either. But I mean, when you're getting 6-7 yards a carry, like the Lions were. Now, granted, some of that came on Montgomery's 70-yard run, right? So like 7 yards a carry is a little misleading, but it did seem like they were getting ahead of each time. And then anytime they got behind the sticks, Goff was making a 12, 13-yard pass to Amon-Ra or Jameson or Laporta or whoever else it was. So, yeah, I mean, it was an impressive night for Detroit.
Jameson Williams had 2 catches in the game. They were both on their opening drive.
Yeah.
That was it. Then didn't hear from the rest of the night. But then it was all Amon-Ra and Gibbs had 5 catches, and they got the ball to their short yardage playmakers who were able to extend the drives and make it happen. I was super impressed with the Lions.
The thing about Jameson, though, is he's always there, so you kind of got to keep an eye on him. Like, and if he catches one, he might be taking that to the house because it's going to be a 60, 70-yarder with his speed and his ability to get behind defenders. So just having him out there is a big deal for Detroit.
So the Ravens now with this loss dropped to 1-2. Next week, they play a Kansas City Chiefs team that is also 1-2. That won on Sunday night. I don't think they really felt like they were going to lose at any point, but I've mentioned this to a few people and they agreed, and I'm sure you feel similarly. At no point on Sunday night did I watch the Kansas City Chiefs and think, oh, they're so back. This is a great team. I thought the Chiefs were pretty mediocre for a lot of that football game, and it was really the Giants being bad that
I lost you there.
Hello, did I lose you?
I think you're back now. Can you hear me okay?
Did I lose you? I'm back. I can hear you. You sound great. Right. Yeah. Don't know what happened there, but no, I was just
go ahead.
Yeah, all I was saying was like the Chiefs didn't look anything near dominant on Sunday night. The offense just doesn't move the ball very well. So these are 2 1-2 football teams, 2 of the 3 presumptive AFC favorites. They're playing each other in week 4, which means one of these teams, barring a tie, is going to fall to 1-3 on the season. Who, as of right now, are you more concerned about long-term this year, the Ravens or the Chiefs?
I'm still probably more concerned with the Chiefs. The Ravens do have 2 losses, and a home loss last night was not great. The Ravens losses to Buffalo and Detroit, but then you go to the Kansas City side, and their losses were to the Chargers and who else did the Chiefs lose to?
To the Eagles.
Eagles, yeah. So really, that's kind of a wash. But I guess I'm more concerned with Kansas City's offense not being there. And I keep kind of contradicting myself because I'm really concerned with Baltimore's defense being non-existent. So, if I had to answer, it'd be both. But I think I'm leaning more towards Kansas City. And I think odds makers are kind of telling you that, making Baltimore a road favorite this weekend. Baltimore is a favorite on the road. Now, they were a favorite last night at home. But I was a little surprised to see Baltimore as a road favorite. Means they think Baltimore's better than Kansas City.
Yeah, it's interesting. So I feel like something doesn't add up here because you're right. Baltimore's a 2.5-point favorite on the road. The over-under is at 48.5 points. Based on how Kansas City's offense has looked, like, I don't think we're going to see the Chiefs put up 30-plus points. So do they think that Baltimore is going to be, like, this is going to be a low-scoring game? But, I'm more inclined, basically, to think that if the points are up there, it's because the Ravens did a number on them.
Yeah.
But if it's lower scoring, then I think that's going to benefit the Chiefs because then it's going to come down to those 1 or 2 big plays late, and then that's where I would trust Patrick Mahomes over Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think you're right. A shootout is not advantageous for Kansas City by any means.
No.
But you say that, and it's like, well, how's Kansas City? They haven't been real good with like time of possession because they can't run the ball right now, right? Like none of their running backs have done much for them. Taquan Thornton's been pretty good for Kansas City, been big for them, and they need him. And maybe Xavier Worthy will be back in week 4, but like I don't know. Like I feel like Kansas City's defense is going to have to be absolutely elite to win this game because. And I said this last night. I thought Baltimore would come out ticked off. They're on the ticked off tour, but apparently that's not the case. This is a big one. This is definitely a big one on Sunday. 1-2 against 1-2. We did not have it. Our handy dandy bet us book did not have this one. In fact, what did we have? We had Baltimore was going to be 2-1 for both of us. And Kansas City.
I would have had Kansas City, I think, at 2-1 as well.
Yeah, heading into Jacksonville next week. Yeah. Yes.
So by my preseason predictions, This is a gutsy win for the Chiefs where they slog it out, beat the Ravens, but then lose to Jacksonville the following week.
Although if they beat Jacksonville, they'll be at 3-2, which is where you had them. I mean, in the end, it's not necessarily about which ones you had them winning and losing. It's more what the process maybe here. I don't know, but it's more about what the record is at the end, what your predicted record is, and you would have them 3-2 after 5 games. So it's a big game. It's a big game on Sunday. Probably the most intriguing of a nice slate of games this weekend.
A really, really good slate. Yeah. And we got 2 more Monday night games as well, which instead of having them 3 hours apart, they're going to double stack them with the 7:15 and 8:15 starts. So
Jets, Dolphins, Bengals, Broncos. I wouldn't call either one of them elite games, but there's 2 NFL games on a Monday night. Like, we can't really complain too much.
No, I can't. I will, but I shouldn't. All right. Real quick, any other big week 3 observations that you had? The witching hour was great. There were seemingly endless amount of blocked kicks throughout the day. I was stunned that the Buccaneers blew that lead against the Jets, but then I was not stunned that Baker Mayfield was still able to lead a comeback drive and for them to win. I guess I can't really say you would be stunned about the Browns beating the Packers. You did take them to cover. I guess maybe stunned a little bit that they won outright and that the Packers went from a NFC Super Bowl contender to losing to the Browns and scoring 10 points and really looking bad.
Yeah. I mean, I guess some quick observations. The New Orleans Saints are terrible. Absolutely.
Awful team.
Horrendously terrible. The Dallas Cowboys are no good.
Bad team.
The Bears are back generationally.
Yep.
Chargers still good. I mean, I've listened to Colin Cowherd both days this week, and he absolutely loves with the Los Angeles Chargers. He loves Harbaugh. He loves Herbert. Says it is the best marriage in the NFL. We'll see if that continues, but
it might be. In his defense, it might be.
Yeah.
Like,
Houston's bad. Some reason somehow Houston's bad. And the Bengals are cooked without Joe Burrow.
Are you worried about CJ Stroud?
I mean, yeah. And I just, yes, they took advantage of a bad division for several years. It's still a bad division, but apparently Indianapolis now is good. And like, Houston's 3 games back after 3 weeks. Like, that's going to be hard to come back from. Like, especially if we thought, Houston was going to only win 10, 11 games, they lost a couple that they should have won. Now you're only looking at 8 or 9 wins. Houston's in big trouble. And Indianapolis somehow, some way is good. I mean, Jonathan Taylor is really good. And I know you're tired of hearing it, but Danny Dimes has been fantastic. So those are basically observations. Atlanta scoring 0 on the road?
Yeah, man. So I saw an amazing stat that Michael Penix Jr. is winless in games where the defense allows more than 7 points.
0. They scored 0. They scored 0 points at Carolina.
Yes. But yeah, Michael Penix is winless when the defense allows more than 7 points.
That's not good. Yeah,
it's not.
That's not good.
That's not. And he was benched late. Kirk Cousins came back in. That's I'm definitely troubled by Houston. I'm troubled by Atlanta. I was looking at the Texans schedule. So they're hosting the 0-3 Titans on Sunday. They should win that game. If they don't, then it's over. Then you really, really have problems. But like right after that, they got to go to Baltimore. That's a tough game. You got to go to Seattle. That's tough, which is Monday night game at Seattle, by the way. Then you have to host the 49ers, who say what you want about Mac Jones and all that, but Brock Purdy may be back by then. But that's a 3-0 Niners team. Then you have to welcome the Broncos, who that's never easy. And then you got the Jaguars coming to town. Like there's not a lot of opportunities for Houston to look great here.
Yeah, not a good start for them. I'm not sure what's going on there. I am a little concerned about Stroud, but really that division's more about why and how Indianapolis has looked so good. How in the world have the Colts looked so good? And I've always been a fan of Jonathan Taylor. We knew Tyler Warren was going to be a threat. Pittman's finally getting opportunities, but I don't know. I mean, we're still kind of waiting for them to fall off a little bit, the Colts.
Yeah. So, yeah. And this is, I know we keep saying, all right, this is the week that we're going to figure it out on the Colts. This is the week. Well, 2 of the 3 teams that they've beaten are bottom 3 teams in your NFL power rankings. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Like awful teams. The one win that they did have was against the Broncos, where, if you remember, that was a game that they were going to lose. Their kicker missed a 60-yarder, but then Denver got hit with a 15-yard penalty, and then they attempted a 15-yarder and hit it and won by a point. So you can kind of look at it that way and say, okay, have they really been tested yet? Do we know for sure how they would fare against high-quality opponents? Well, they got the Rams in LA this weekend. They got the Raiders after that, and then they host the Cardinals, and then they go back to LA. So they're in LA 2 times in a month, except to play the Chargers. But like this weekend at the Rams, I have to think, Rodney, that like if the Colts come out and dominate and look really good and put up points against the Rams, then I don't think we can make up excuses anymore. I think we have to acknowledge the Colts as the top of that division, which is insane. But like that's the one thing that I'm waiting for is when the schedule heats up, and also just as more teams sort of get tape on Jones and what the offense is that they're doing, and they're able to know, okay, this is what the Colts are bringing. Let's force them to make adjustments.
Yeah, and that's a Rams team coming off a loss, which, I may overestimate coming off a loss, but I always feel like a team has a little boost coming off. A good team has a boost coming off a loss, like the Rams are going home. McVay and his staff are going to be ready and prepared. And how about that? I mean, if you bet on that game, if you bet the Los Angeles Rams, you absolutely took it, and you took it hard in that one. Like, it was whatever 3.5, 4.5, 4.5, whatever the hell you got it. It ended up 7. You didn't cover that one, and that was absolutely amazing. And it wasn't shady to me. There was people talking, oh, is this shady? But like, because the big boy had a lane, and I don't blame the big boy. If the big boy's got a lane to run it back, you run it back, man.
Yeah.
He should have dove on it. No, he shouldn't have. Run it back for a touchdown.
No, what? There was no one near him. It was literally just him, the team. There was no one chasing after him. Like, it was not. No, it was not. I didn't think about that as shady. I just thought about that as, wow, that's a really, really bad beat. That's a bad beat
for Rams bettors. Yeah, no, it's a bad beat for Rams bettors who you thought all along, like, I got this covered. I mean, because you were winning this game. You were winning big in this game for a good majority of the game. And even late, I mean, obviously, you had a chance to win the game with a field goal at the end outright. Like, if you bet on money line, you were like, I'm going to win this. And then you didn't. And then the Eagles covered. That was a crazy one.
Where are you at on Mac Jones's 49ers?
Well, I mean,
so he didn't have the performance that he had against New Orleans, but ended up at 284 yards. He threw the ball 41 times in that game. 284 yards, had a touchdown, only took 1 sack. I will note that he did target Christian McCaffrey 15 times in the game. So definitely, he's relying on CMC quite a bit. But the Niners are 3-0, man.
Yeah, I've been very, very obvious that I'm not a big Lack Jones fan, but I'm gonna start terming him Whack until he proves me a little bit differently here. So I will give Whack a little credit. He is smart enough to find the right guy. You said it. 15 targets for Christian McCaffrey. Like, that's a pretty good idea. You don't have George Kittle. You didn't have Juwan Jennings. Yeah, okay. I'll find Christian a lot. I'll find Ricky several times, and then we'll figure it out from there. Like, okay, Whack, you're smart enough to do that. Good work. So I'll give him credit for that. I mean, long term, I still struggle to see San Francisco being, that team. They just lost Bosa, right? Like, this team is so banged up already. Even if it is Brock Purdy, like, I don't know, like, really good. And maybe this is kind of what we were saying during their Super Bowl runs. Like, they're really good, but I'm not sure they get over the top. And, here we are again, 3-0 for San Francisco, beat Arizona. Still just kind of on San Francisco, but they've started well.
It almost feels, obviously it's not a perfect comparison, but the way that they've won the games, and like 17-13 against Seattle, 26-21 at New Orleans, and then 16-15 against Arizona. Like those are the types of scores that the Kansas City Chiefs had last year.
Yeah.
When they were winning games, when they would win 15 games and all but one of them would be by 6 or fewer points. Like that's kind of what it feels like right now.
Yeah, when I see those scores from San Francisco, the first thing that comes to my mind, good coaching. Good coaching.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They're well coached, right? Like they're well coached. And then I should probably think a quarterback that has control of his team. And so I'm backtracking on my Lack Jones and moving him to Whack Jones here, but like he's obviously done a good enough job to win 2 games in a row for a nice team. So I got to give him a little credit there. I'm not built on him long term, but he continues to win for the 49ers.
There's a reason that the 49ers were able to make it to a Super Bowl with Mr. Irrelevant as their quarterback. That's not just coincidence. It's coaching. And Mac Jones now being a competent guy after like looking bad and all of his stops before this, like that's coaching as well. And Kyle Shanahan is still a top 5 coach in the NFL. And I think that he's proven that. It also proves how bad Trey Lance was and why teams like Dallas and whoever else I've seen him as a reclamation project said, oh, never mind. Because if they couldn't get anything out of him in San Francisco, I don't think that, Brian Schottenheimer or whoever would. So, But okay, any final NFL Week 3 thoughts before we get to your power rankings here?
Yeah, I mean, your Giants obviously look pretty poor, and now we heard earlier this afternoon the news of Jackson Dart. So I know you are excited to see that. I'm kind of like, okay, well, I want to see. I don't necessarily care about wins and losses for Dart this year.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not leading the Giants to the playoffs. I want to see him healthy, and I want to see him get the ball to the right guys, i.e. Malik Neighbors, and keep the offense competent. Don't turn it over, right? That's kind of what I want to see. I don't care if he wins or loses. I'm not going to judge him on his wins or losses. Don't turn it over. Work on getting it to the right guys. I'll bring it back to you, our last NFL Week 3 observation, Jackson Dart.
No, I honestly think you nailed it. And I was just talking with some people this morning. So there's no part of me that's saying, hey, thank goodness Jackson Dart will come in and salvage the season. They're 0-3. The Eagles are in their division. Washington's 2-1. Like there's no possible way that the Giants are going to be playing meaningful football games this year in terms of wins and losses. The only thing that I care about at this point is Jackson Dart proving, and now he's going to have 14 games, hopefully, to do so, proving that he is the right quarterback to lead this team in the future, regardless of who the coaching staff is next year. At this point, I think the fate is sealed on Brian Daboll and the staff there. I think the fate's sealed, and it's not, they're not going to be coming back regardless of Jackson Dart, because you can look and you could say, okay, well, the Chargers Jim Harbaugh inherited Justin Herbert, and that's been okay. Mike Vrabel inherited Drake May. That looks like it's pretty good. Ben Johnson inherited Caleb Williams, and presumably like that's gonna be fine. So it doesn't really matter. It's not like, oh, Brian Daboll has to be the coach for Jackson Dart. But I just want Jackson Dart to show enough to where the Giants can go into next year saying, we have our quarterback. Now we can build everything else around him, because we don't have to worry about, what we're going to do at the most important position in the sport. And they need 14 games to know that now. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I look at Russell Wilson and I'm like, okay, so he had 3 stops in a row that just have not worked out. And I took a lot, and I didn't even share this with you. I took a lot of grief actually from one particular Twitter person on my Dak Prescott, Russell Wilson, which might have been a bad take. I'll be honest. It might have been a bad take. But like this person really, really, really loved Russell Wilson and was basically saying he's a surefire Hall of Famer and all this. And yes, the beginning of his career was very solid, but these last 3 stops have not helped Russell Wilson's cause.
No, they have not. And I think that the Giants really shouldn't deserve credit for anything, but I think they do deserve a modicum of credit to not view that week 2 performance against Dallas as, oh, well, that's what he's capable of. Yeah. So we're going to stick with him. I think after what Dallas just did with Chicago and how bad they looked, I think the Giants quickly realized, okay, that game was kind of a fluke. It was sort of ridiculous. He's giving you 2 pitiful performances sandwiched around that. It was more Dallas's defense being bad than Russell Wilson being the answer. And like, if it was up to me, so they're saying that Russ is going to back up. If it was up to me, I'm calling all of the quarterback desperate teams around the league and saying, hey, Russ is available, late round pick. And then I promote Jameis and I make Jameis Winston the number 2 quarterback at this point. I don't see the need to still have Russell Wilson on the roster. He kind of served his purpose. Then you can just move on from him.
Yeah, cut ties with him, try to get a pick out of him. Yeah, no, I would be in agreement there. And for Russell, it would be like, holy cow, I can't land anywhere. I can't land on my feet anywhere right now. You know, he's got to think it's got to be about done, right? Like, you got to be done here. It's time to be done letting Russ cook.
It feels like it. It feels like it, but see what happens. All right, let's get to your power rankings. Every week, Rodney goes through and he ranks all 32 teams. You can check it out on his Twitter at NoopleRodney. But he has decided to give you the bottom 5 and top 5 right here on this program. So without further ado, Rodney, I'll let you take it away here.
Yeah, no, and I try to take some time Sunday night, even into Monday, through the Monday night game, and then finalize on Tuesday with a little conversation from some football fans that I know and trust, and not necessarily take their advice, but listen to their advice. And I know power rankings mean nothing in the grand scheme of it, but I am trying to truly put what I feel is the accurate power rankings. I could be wrong here, but all right. So I'll go ahead and start. I'm going to start at the very bottom. Now, again, I said this last week. Right now they're 32. They should probably more essentially be 31. But the Miami Dolphins, because of their performance at the beginning of the season, you know, especially week 1, week 2, they are going to be my number 32. I am really just waiting for them to win a game so I can promote them up and move the Saints to 32. I'm splitting hairs here between these 2 teams. Both have been really bad. I truly probably believe the Saints are 32 because they are atrocious. But until they win a game, I'm not going to move them. So Saints 31, Titans 30, just not getting it done. Just can't find ways to get it done. Can't score. Not great defensively. There's no identity there for that team. I'll put them at 30. Unfortunately for you, I've got to put your Giants at 29. I mean, just 2 out of 3 woeful performances, right? Like, yes, the Dallas game gave them a little hope, but you said it. We saw Dallas against the Bears, and it's like, oh my, Dallas is bad too. So 29. And then they're going to be ahead of the poor Jets. They had a chance. Well, they didn't. They were getting blown out. They came back, and then, they lost to Tampa. So they're gonna sit at 28 in the power rankings. So Dolphins, Saints, Titans, Jets, Giants, Jets are the bottom 5.
I feel like of all of the 0-3 teams, which there are still a couple that you haven't mentioned, like obviously the Texans are 0-3 and you have them outside of the bottom 5 here. Like the Jets are probably the 0-3 team that's saying, hey, you know, we're okay. Does that make sense? Like, would they like to be winning games? Yes, but I don't think they can be totally discouraged by nearly beating Pittsburgh in that week 1, by coming back against Tampa Bay on the road the way they did with a backup quarterback, mind you, because they haven't had Justin Fields. So there is an element of, hey, you know, it's kind of unfortunate. We are the Jets, but like it's not like we're totally inept. And I haven't looked at the Jets and said that team is totally inept. Now, week 2 is bad. Week 2 is bad, but Buffalo's a great team.
Yeah, so that's my bottom 5. We can talk about some of the middle teams if we want after I'm done here. But the top 5, number 5, I've got to go with the Indianapolis Colts here, right? Like, they're 3-0, right? They're 3-0. Yeah. I've got the Colts at 5. I don't know. There are some other teams that I could consider here. I'll go to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, number 4. Now they're not winning sexy, but they're winning. Baker Mayfield knows how to win games, so I got to give them credit and put them at 4. They're undefeated as well. Top 3 to me is pretty easy. I really think the top 3 are pretty locked. Now, if you want to argue between 1, 2, and 3, that's fine. I prefer this direction. I prefer the Chargers 3. I still think they are probably the second best in the AFC to the Buffalo Bills, who are number 2 on my power rankings. And then I still got the Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, I started with them at 1 as the world champs, kept them there. They continued to win. I can't move. I will not move them until they lose. So Eagles 1, Bills 2, Chargers 3, Buccaneers 4, Colts 5. Any teams that you would like to ask about?
Yes. So I am interested to know where the Ravens were going to be before Monday night and where they are now. Conditionally, you could also do the same exercise for the Lions, because I'm pretty sure that the Colts or the Buccaneers was previously outside of the top 5 at this time yesterday, before the Ravens lost and you had to move them down.
Yeah, the Ravens were 4. Now they hadn't played, so they were one of those where you could kind of move. You could even move them to 5 if they won. I don't think I was going to move them to 3 if they won, because I don't think they're ahead of the Chargers. But the Ravens actually moved to 10th. A home loss, not great. They are still in the top 10. They're the first team with 1 loss in the rankings. I mean, you look at the teams with 1 loss, the Ravens, the Chiefs, probably the 2 best. They are 10 and 12.
Or 1 win. 1 win.
Yeah, the 1 win. They're 10 and 12 respectively. And then I had to move Detroit up to 7. They are now in the top 8. And I went back and forth. Originally, after Detroit's win, I put them ahead of Green Bay. But then I was like, you know what? I can't necessarily take away Green Bay's week 1 win, right? Like, Green Bay beat them pretty considerably. Yeah. Now, you know, there's people in the NFL that say you can't necessarily worry when you have a new coordinator. You can't worry about training camp. You can't worry about any preseason games. You can't worry about week 1 because coordinators get accustomed. And okay, so, but I did. Like, it happened. It was a regular season game. So I've got the Packers 6, the Lions 7, 49ers, Rams, and Ravens finished the top 10.
Yeah, the Rams were the other team I was very curious about, because that was a game I think they could have won. A road win at Philadelphia would have made them 3-0. And then we have a very interesting conversation. You probably put them in the top 5, I would say, at minimum.
I do.
If they win that game.
I do. And, at that point, it's probably something like Buffalo, Chargers, maybe even Rams, Eagles in that order, right? Like Rams 3, Eagles 4. So that was, I mean, Rams falling to 9. I think 9's pretty fair for them. They are a top 10 team. They did lose. So I got the Chicago Bears at 23. They moved up the line a little bit. Cowboys moved way down. They're 26. Houston Texans 27 now. Yeah. So have not been a good start.
Cowboys are they're not a good football team.
No,
and not. Especially if CeeDee Lamb's going to be out now for multiple weeks. That's not a good team. And I don't know if they'll necessarily be this bad, but you know, I had them at 4 wins preseason. I think you had them where did you have the Cowboys?
Cowboys was okay. So I had them at 7 wins. Okay.
So I mean, we both had them with losing records, and I think when it's all said and done, we're going to look very smart there.
Yeah.
With where they're at. Yeah, because that's not a good team.
No.
But yeah, no, honestly, I can't really disagree too much with your power rankings. Like, it's hard to say, oh, these 3-0 teams are not good. Like, even if you were to say, like, do you think the Lions are a better football team than the Colts? I certainly do. But the Colts are also 3-0, and it's hard to discredit that at this point. So
yeah, and I think the Packers are probably better than the Colts, but somehow, so you got to punish the Packers a little bit for losing to the Cleveland Browns, right? Like,
oh yeah,
they're 6. I think I originally threw them down to 9, and I was like, I don't know as if I can punish them that far. So Packers 6, Lions 7. Looking in the middle, Falcons moved all the way to 18. Bengals moved to 20. Like,
yeah,
they fell big time. I mean, but they also were very non-competitive. So, anyways, that's the week 3 power rankings.
Yeah, it's just crazy how much a kick can change the rankings and the way that we're evaluating these teams.
Yeah,
like it was the miss with the Rams. It was the make with the Buccaneers that has made them a top 5 team. It's the Browns. The Browns had a chance to be 2-1 if they win in Cincinnati, a game that they probably should have won. But that same kicker also made a 55-yard field goal on Sunday. So there's all of these different variations and ways that we can look at these teams. But yeah, it's wild just how much it can change week to week. But that's why the power rankings are fun, that you do this exercise.
Well, the NFL is about wins and losses. It just simply is. Like, did you win or did you lose? Right? Like, okay, so you've looked good, but you're 5-8. Like, you're not making the playoffs, and that's what matters. So, it's fun to, and it takes a little time, a little thought. It's easy when the top teams win. You pretty much just lock them where they're at. But when you have week 3 where you had teams all over the place, that middle is what really becomes kind of an issue. And yes, eventually you're going to have a head-to-head where it's like, why do you have these guys ahead of these guys? Because they beat them. And it's like, well, now we've got 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks in. And so, but you try to take some head-to-head into consideration.
All right. Real quick, so we got 15-ish minutes or so left on the show here. I teased it earlier on where this weekend might be, at least starting Thursday, this might be the biggest sports week of 2025, where, of course, we have NFL. And some of the big NFL games you had mentioned already, the Ravens-Chiefs game, despite being 1-2, that's going to be a great game. Packers-Cowboys Sunday Night Football, Micah Parsons' return. Regardless of how we feel about Dallas, that's going to be a great game. You have the first Europe game, Vikings-Steelers, getting started real early on Sunday morning in Dublin, Ireland. That's just NFL. College football, now you're getting to the good games.
Eagles at Buccaneers. So literally you've got the 8:30 morning game. You've got a really good noon game. You've got a pair of 3:25 really good games. You got the Sunday night game. So go ahead.
Yes. Yeah, so thank you for the correction. Yeah, Eagles-Buccaneers, a potential NFC championship game, maybe. I'm very high on the Bucs. You're obviously very high on the Eagles. But then we have a college football slate. We're going to get to in best bets for betting, but USC-Illinois has probably lost a little bit of juice based on what it could have been. But that's still two ranked opponents there. Ohio State-Washington. You have LSU-Ole Miss. And then a couple big ones at night, Oregon against Penn State and Alabama against Georgia. That's a great college football Saturday.
Yeah. I mean, even if you're looking at some of those that aren't in the top 5 of the games, I mean, BYU, Colorado is at night. That's a ranked team against Coach Prime's team. I mean, it is a good slate. And you actually have a game on Thursday. You have 2 games on Friday, TCU, Arizona State, Florida State, Virginia. So yeah, it's a great college football. And then I know you are going to be tuned in to the Ryder Cup.
Ryder Cup Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Beth Page Black, the U.S. versus the Europeans. The U.S. has no chance in Europe, so this is a big opportunity for the Americans to get a win now that it's at their home. Ryder Cup is exciting, man. It's a good time. Just the energy. If you're someone who loves when there's big crowds, there's loud energy, and there's just a lot of passion. In golf, the Ryder Cup is absolutely for you. Like, it's definitely not one of those sit still and be quiet and do a nice polite clap events. But yeah, like, teams honestly look pretty good. I don't know what the betting odds are. I'm not quite sure. US probably is favored just because it's some bigger names, there's more familiarity, but Europe's got a good team as well. And then the last note that I wanted to make about this weekend, it's the final few days of the MLB season. We got 6 days left of games. And I'll tell you what, I was not expecting as many close competitive races as we're currently at right now. When you look at the American League Central, or you look at the AL wild card, or you look at the NL wild card, the NL West is somehow still up for grabs. The Dodgers haven't locked it in yet. Like there are 2 divisions that we have champs for sure. And then everything else is at stake still. And it's hard to beat that as a baseball fan. So just where you're at, what are you most excited for this last week in baseball?
Yeah, it's nice going into the final, Tuesday night games, before the games that have finished tonight are over, knowing that, there's really only 4 teams in it, right? Like 4 teams in the playoffs, the Brewers, the Phillies. Is it just 3? Brewers, Phillies, Blue Jays are locked.
And Cubs. Cubs have clinched.
Cubs, yeah. And of course, there's other teams that are going to get a chance to lock in tonight, tomorrow, all that. I mean, obviously the rest of the week. But that's fun. And somehow, some way going into tonight's game, the Miami Marlins were still in contention. Maybe that shows how poor the bottom of the National League wild card has been. But just final spots. Like, I'm intrigued to see what happens here with the Reds and the Mets, right? Or is it Arizona, that finds a way to catch both of them? I mean, Mets have just struggled. And then I'm intrigued, Cleveland, Detroit. I mean, Detroit had a 14-game lead over the Royals on July 9th, 15.5 on Cleveland. They tied it earlier this week before the weekend. And then, of course, Sunday, Detroit won, Cleveland lost. So it was 1 game going into the night. And, AJ Hinch has got to be he's got to make sure they're not choking that one away. So some big games, including going on tonight and then the next 5 days. So a lot of good baseball.
What's wild, too, is Detroit is what they did at the end of last season is currently being done to them by Cleveland 1 year later. Yeah. And we saw, Detroit was able to catapult that, winning a wild card series, making it to the ALDS. If Cleveland does end up pulling this thing off and reaching the postseason, I don't think anyone wants to face them. Not with the type of baseball they've been playing, despite having a -9 run differential. I might add.
You wouldn't think so. And I guess there's an opportunity that these 2 teams could fall into playing each other, as the 3-6, as the AL Central winner and the final wild card team. So a lot of intrigue there. Maybe the Astros get left out. There's a possibility of that. Red Sox could get left out. Your Yankees could still win the division. So still plenty going on. It'd be fun to follow.
Real quick, your final predictions before we recap best bets for betting. Let's do this. The American League Central champion will be blank.
I still think it'll be the Detroit Tigers. I just, Scooble got to pitch tonight. Scooble gets to pitch on Sunday. I just think they are still the better team, although Cleveland's red hot. So I'll take the Detroit Tigers.
The final National League wild card team will be blank.
I think it's going to be the Cincinnati Reds. I would like to see the Arizona Diamondbacks make a push here, and they're not far out. But I think it's going to be the Cincinnati Reds.
And then the last note here. So assuming Detroit wins the division, you have the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Guardians, the Astros. The team out of those 4 that will miss the postseason will be blank.
I don't think it's going to be the Astros. They got the Athletics and the A's, or Athletics and the Angels. I don't see Houston choking that away. I think it's going to be the Cleveland Guardians. I think that all for naught, and they're going to fall a little short.
If Detroit ends up winning the division, it stands to reason that there's a good chance it's by beating Cleveland in this series. And then, I think I'm with you there, but definitely a lot of excitement. And this is exactly what you want to go before the playoffs start next week. Okay, best bets for betting recap. It was interesting to say the least, and we'll get started here. Rodney's first pick: Purdue, 25.5 point dog against Notre Dame, and I'll tell you what, the odds makers are good because this was a 26 point victory for the Irish. That's a tough one.
Yeah, I mean, I believe there was like a 3-hour lightning delay. Yeah, I mean, whatever. Yeah, I lost. Moving on.
Miami It was close first 3 quarters, but the Hurricanes seemed to find a way in the fourth quarter to pull away, and they were able to get a win. Defense looked really good, even though Carson Beck was not sharp. Miami took care of business, got the win there. And did you watch game day? Did you see Pat McAfee diving in the pool in the Speedo? I thought he would go full suit. I didn't expect him to take it all off and have the Speedo. I thought he was just going to go in straight with the suit. But anyway, yeah, Miami covers 9.5 points against Florida. All right, next for you, Rodney. While I only count this as one loss, I did put 3 X's just to show the overall severity of how bad this loss was for you. Illinois, a 6.5 point favorite. You might have liked them straight up to win.
I laugh at you, Brett Bielema. Oh, that's funny. Nice job, Illini. Way to show up. Prime time. We're ready for prime time. Maybe they'll be ready for the Buckeyes. Actually, you got the Trojans first. Yeah, this one lost. I started 0-2. Good job, college football. Lost them both.
All right. And I started, shockingly, 2-0, where the Panthers not only covered the 5.5 points, it was my system of taking desperate 0-2 teams, division matchups, and the Panthers won outright by 30 points. I should get 3 green check marks for this, but the Panthers getting the win there, and then things start to turn around for Rodney here.
Chargers! Good win for Harbaugh. Barely, but they got it done. Chargers over the Broncos.
That's all he needed. Cameron Dicker with a last-second kick to give him the 3-point win. This probably deserves a couple X's here. I need to stop betting the Titans. I think the Titans are much worse than I want to give them credit for. The Colts are clearly better than I want to give them credit for. This game was not close at any point. The Colts ran away with it. Titans 4.5 points at home. That's an L. Big fat L for me.
This next one turned me to 2-2 with the Cleveland Browns at plus 7.5. I think I mentioned I did not have the stones to money line this. Probably would have been like plus 300. Didn't do it. Browns plus 7.5. Good work, Browns. Good work.
Good work, Browns. All right. Our early contender for worst beat of the best bets for betting season thus far. I, like many, had the Los Angeles Rams at plus 3.5. It looked really good. And as we know, Rodney, process matters more than results, according to some people. So for the process crowd, I definitely won. The results crowd is I lost the bet. So the easily the worst bad beat that we've seen so far in the NFL season. I was on the wrong end of it, of course. Rams plus 3.5. Give me an L.
Yeah. So I was 2-2 heading into Monday Night Football. You were 2-2, and your last game was on Sunday. This is the tiebreaker of the week. This is going to be the first time that you either tie or beat me because I lost the Baltimore Ravens minus 4.5. Thanks, Derrick Henry. They weren't going to cover anyway, but thanks. 2-3 for me this week.
Yeah, they were up. Yeah, they were up 4 when the fumble happened. So yeah, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. Okay. For the first time this year, I was the victor for best bets for betting the Arizona Cardinals. Now, when the line is 2.5 points, a lot of times people be like, well, just take the money line, take them straight up. This is exactly why that's not always the case, because the Cardinals lost the game by 1 point, single point in a very low scoring game. The 49ers were able to win the last second field goal. Definitely helped that the Cardinals got a safety late in the game to put them in that position. They were up by 2, and then obviously San Francisco gets 3 points on the field goal. But the Cardinals cover, and that's what matters for this bet. So that's a 3-2 weekend for me. Rodney 2-3, so his overall record is 11-9, and I have moved. I'm still in the L's, but moved up a little bit to 9-11. And that covers it for best bets for betting for the weekend. We will have, of course, more picks for you on Friday, college football, NFL, what have you. But let's wrap up the show today. Mount Rushmore of number 96s. We're getting very, very close to the end of the Mount Rushmore series. We've been doing it for months and months. And initial look at 96s, I wish that it was a better number because I've not seen a ton of fantastic options here.
No, I don't see anything in Major League Baseball that sticks out to me. Don't
NHL, before we get to football, NHL, Mikko Rantanen, longtime Colorado Avalanche, now with the Dallas Stars. I think Mikko Rantanen's a pretty good player, Stanley Cup champ, all-star. He might have the qualifications to get on the Mount Rushmore of great 96s. I'm sure hockey guy Dan will be very upset if we don't put him there. But I think Mikko Rantanen's got a good case. Yeah, really no one in the NBA. Meta World Peace had it for a season in Houston before he came to the Lakers. So, yeah, it really just comes down to what we see in the NFL, I think.
Yeah. All right. So Rantanen and 3 NFL guys, maybe. Here we go. Who do you like in the NFL here?
All right. So just looking at the initial list here of some of the top guys, the best players, according to Pro Football Reference, we had Clyde Simmons, who was a former Philadelphia Eagle edge rusher in the 80s, retired in the 2000s. I hadn't heard of him. Cortez Kennedy, I have heard of, and Cortez Kennedy is a Hall of Famer with the Seattle Seahawks, apparently wore number 96. So maybe we go Cortez Kennedy on the Mount Rushmore. What are you thinking there?
I mean, sure, but this is pretty garbage, right? Like this is a pretty garbage number. Like I almost am just willing to take the Pro Football Reference top 3 players and say you're with Rantanen and call it a day, right? Like, I mean, I'm looking down the list. I mean, you got Akeem Hicks, but you can't put him on this list.
Well, why not?
Marcus Spears, because he's on TV now, maybe. But yeah, no, I don't know. I'm willing to take Rantanen and 3 of the top NFL guys and say, good job. We'll give you a T-shirt.
Yeah, I'm looking to see if there are current players that are rocking 96. Any considerations? I think the best that I see here is where was he? Who just got traded to Green Bay in the Micah Parsons trade? Kenny Clark.
Oh, Kenny Clark, good player.
I think Kenny Clark is wearing 96 now for Dallas, if I'm not mistaken.
Good player.
Yeah. So he was 97 with Green Bay, but he's wearing 96 now with Dallas. So yeah, this is tough, man. All right. I'm going to say Mikko Rantanen, welcome to the Mount Rushmore. I'm going to say Cortez Kennedy, welcome to the Mount Rushmore. He was a good player. Carlos Dunlap, I think we kind of overlooked, 2-time Pro Bowler, good career with the Cincinnati Bengals. I'll throw Carlos Dunlap on there. And then why don't we finish it off with Akeem Hicks? He was a good player, good veteran for the Chicago Bears.
Done.
It's a bad Rushmore. It's a bad Rushmore, but
it's a bad one. Yeah. 97, 98, 99 will be better.
Yes, much better. I'm very much looking forward to those. We'll have 97 on Friday for our 97th episode of the Stupidest Sports Show on Earth. All right, real quick before we get out of here, a reminder to follow us at Stupid Sports Show on Twitter. No W at the end. You can listen to all of our 96 episodes on Spotify, Apple, iHeart, anywhere you get your podcasts. Make sure to give us a download, like, subscribe, so you can get notifications whenever new episodes are up. And a reminder, despite Rodney's losing best bets for betting segment, he's overall well up for September for the year. So go ahead and subscribe to that. Get Stupid Sports Show sent right to your inbox every day. Rodney's free picks, and a lot of them are winners. So you're missing out by not doing it.
47 units ahead since the beginning of the year, just 4.5 this month. But as I keep saying, like, we're going to get to a very large bulk of games. We're going to get to NBA, NHL that are going to get you every night. So there's a bunch of games coming up. Make sure you get signed up and get your winners.
It's a marathon, not a sprint. That's a saying that I just made up. That's mine and alone. All right. For Rodney Newpel, let's get out of here. This is Tim, the Perfect Storm Van Stratton. We'll be back Friday morning to discuss all of the great happenings and what might be the best weekend of the year for sports fans. So stick around until then. It'll be 8 a.m. Central Time right here on Twitter, on YouTube, wherever you're watching us. Just come back Friday morning. But he's Rodney. I'm Tim. And this has been another edition of the Stupidest Sports Show on Earth. See you guys.
Step right up, dummies, and listen to the Stupidest Sports Show on Earth with Rodney Newpel and Tim Van Stratton. Yeah.